Victor, how much did the rib bother you tonight? And,
The rib?
The rib. How much did it bother you?
Not at all.
Yeah. How much did it bother you tonight? How painful was it? And how did you try to kind of protect it or fight through that pain if you had much? How did you manage it?
I tried to protect it as much as possible while being respectful of the game, you know. But it was okay. It didn't bother me that much. Just a few times where it was like a specific movement or specific hit where, yeah, it was painful.
Did you think about capping it at 20 minutes, or did you wanted to play more? And if so, for what? What was the?
I mean, if say it was feeling really bad, yeah, we would have capped at 20 minutes, yeah.
So even when you felt those like little bits of pain, it kind of went away after that. It was just kind of temporary, basically.
Yeah.
With that, Vic, is it pretty safe to assume that Sunday you'll sit out and this was the last game of the regular season?
I don't think it's safe to assume that, no, because you know, we don't know what's going to happen around the league, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, yeah.
And how good does it feel to meet that 65-game threshold?
Very, very good. Feels like it's a box that's checked. Feels like it was. This season was a lot. Lots of things happened, and that's a good conclusion, you know, to it.
When you sort of reflect on the last year that you've had, I mean, at this time last year you were in a different place, obviously, and now you're playing enough games to qualify for awards. How do you sort of sit back and think about that or reflect on that and what that means to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot more than people know. Coming back from a terrible place, you know, a little bit more than a year ago. And if I'm here today, it's because of all the people that have allowed me to work through this and get better, and all the work that we've put in all year long. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I've done this season if I hadn't worked so hard in the summer.
Well, there's a lot of conversation about MVP. I think for Defensive Player of the Year, it's consensus. You're going to get it. It's just a matter of whether you win it unanimously. Would you be surprised if you're not the unanimous winner for Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes, I would. Who are the other front runners?
Good question.
Okay.
Jet's up there.
Okay.
Steph Castle.
Steph Castle. No, I believe it. No, I've seen it happen. So yeah.
Like Scotty Barnes is on the list somewhere.
Okay.
Sar Thompson.
That's kind of the point, is we don't know who else to kind of name outside
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
Given that you miss like a dozen games, November into December, you know, you had to walk kind of a difficult tightrope to get here to this point with award eligibility.
Yeah.
How much work went into that for you and for the team, just making, obviously it's not the main goal, but obviously a consideration?
Oh, tremendous amount of work. Lots and lots of talks with the medical staff. Lots of figuring out the best plan. More, I would say, than any year in my career. Mental work, you know, to be able to play through pain or discomfort. But we made it.
What did you see there in that particular time?
Just being aggressive, getting to my spots, going over the top. You know, shots were falling. So,
Let's talk about Wimby's game tonight. I mean, 40 points, 13 rebounds. How difficult it is to slow him down?
it's very difficult. I mean, he's, you know, we talked about it before. He's, you know, something different that you don't see every day. So, he's knocking out shots, get to his spots. It's tough to stop.
Coop, you got to your spots a lot tonight, especially in the mid-range. Could you kind of describe just the evolution of your jump shot this season?
Yeah, I think it's just more and more confident as the year's gone on. You know, better pace, getting to my spots, and living with the outcome.
And what would you say you've learned over these last week or so, just about how efficient you can be at this level?
Yeah, learning a ton. You know, just being selective with, you know, taking the shots that I want to take, and, you know, living with the outcome of those shots and not letting the defense dictate what I do.
What does it do for your game when you start hitting those jump shots early in a game, like those first 5-9 points that you put up?
Yeah, it feels great. It always feels good when you start off hot and find a rhythm early.
Is it exciting for you still when you can go back and forth in a game like that with a guy like Wimby?
For sure. Yeah, it's fun. Obviously, they're an incredible team, and I think they locked up with the second seed in the West. So they're an incredible team, and they're going to make a deep run. But it's fun to be able to just compete in a high-level game like that.
Well, want to get your thoughts on Dylan Harper. I know he was picked right behind you in the draft, not in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, but the Spurs haven't really been asking him to do, the numbers type thing. But your thoughts on Dylan here, especially facing him tonight.
Yeah. Dylan's always been a special guy. He's just dynamic. Plays both sides of the ball at a high level, and I think, like you said, they haven't asked him to do, as much. They're just a really good team. So, him just finding his role and playing a role has been really good for them, and they've looked really good. So he's an incredible player. I think he's gotten a lot better and improved all throughout the season. But I've always been high on D Harp, and he's a special player.
And then kind of a big picture thing from me. With you and Wimby here in place in the Dallas and San Antonio franchises, has it crossed your mind at all that this could be the makings down the line of yet another iteration of the great Spurs-Mavs rivalry through the years?
Sure. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. Hopefully, and we're looking into the future for us into next season, and getting a lot better and improving, and hopefully we'll get a lot more wins next year. So, just looking into the future. Hopefully, we come back next year and compete, a lot better.
Just by the crazy stats you put over the past of a few weeks, do you feel like that say enough about who should win the Rookie of the Year?
I've said it before. For me, I've just stayed consistent with my work, and I just go out there and play and play to my capabilities, and stay confident in myself, and I'll let all the other stuff and media and the talk, whatever it is, figure itself out. So I'm just out there, competing and playing as hard as I can.